Hi, my name is Emily Alwood. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Falling Creek Elementary, and I teach fifth grade reading and social studies. Today, I'm going to talk about using the learning management system called Canvas. This is my 7th year teaching and my first year in Virginia and Chesterfield County Schools. I know many of you at CCPS use Google Classroom, and the thought of changing to a new system might be daunting for you, but because I was new to CCPS this year, I jumped right in with Canvas, and I loved using technology in my classroom and learning about these different technologies in my free time. So I might as well put Canvas to use and just go all in with it in my classroom. When I previously taught in Los Angeles the past 2 years, we were required to have a website for our classroom, which at first felt overwhelming to me because I had never done that before. Each day we were required to update our digital agenda. And when I came here this past August to Falling Creek, I was so used to doing this at my previous school that I felt that I could just use Canvas to do the same thing and have that digital agenda on my Canvas page instead of having my own classroom domain. So Canvas is more of my vehicle for the resources that I put out daily to my students, and it keeps digital learning organized. Today, you can pretty much Google anything and find the resources, but before you know it, you might have 40 tabs open, which I'm currently definitely guilty of. And so we need to eliminate that for our students so that they can keep their resources and tabs more organized and consolidated. So on my homepage on Canvas, I post the date, my I can statements, and any relevant links and information about what we're doing in the class on that particular day. Sometimes I won't update it every single day with I can statements because we'll be working on the same I can statement throughout the week. For example, this past week we read an A to Z book, and we read it for the duration of the week. And so I posted in the beginning of the week what the I can statement was, but then I didn't post again until the end of the week when I linked in the quiz that the students were going to take on the book. Links that I add can lead really anywhere, from interactive educational games to quizzes, graphic organizer, and anything else that I would use regularly in the classroom, but I want to digitalize. Canvas makes a lot better use of my time in the classroom, and students don't have to type web address in, which can take way too long. They simply go to my homepage, which they already have bookmarked, and then they are all set with what they need for the day right in front of them. Oftentimes in the morning, students will come in, they'll get their breakfast, and they'll go onto Canvas to see what the digital agenda is for the day, so that they're prepared with whatever materials they may need. So here's my homepage on Canvas. It's just fifth grade literacy and social studies. I have a button for word study here, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And this is just my homepage where it has my digital agenda for most of the days. Like I had said before, some of them are continuations from the day before, or there's one agenda for the whole week if we're working on one certain book or one certain topic. For example, yesterday, here's my reading goal. I can read a biography of a famous person and extract important information. I've linked to the brain pop that we watched, fill out a graphic organizer that went along with the brain pop, but as you can see, there's no link for that because that was a physical graphic organizer. And then we went on a Newsella article on Jackie Robinson to support the graphic organizer as well. And as you can see, I've linked in quizzes, surveys, different kinds of information, more quizzes, and you can really customize this to be whatever you want to do. It just depends on what you're looking for, but this is how I use this as a homepage. So I'm going to show you how I can add content to my homepage for the lesson that I'm actually going to do today. I'm recording this during my planning period, and it's so easy to add content for lessons that are going to be happening soon. So what I do is I edit the homepage, I spaced yesterday's agenda. Usually what I'll do is I will just type in the date here, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy the I can statement for yesterday since we're working on the same skill for the whole week. We're going to be talking about Maya Angelou today. So I will go ahead and type that in text and take off bold and italics. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy the link for the brain pop. And then I'm going to highlight the text. And then I'm going to go ahead and link to the URL here, paste that brain pop in there. We're going to have a graphic organizer to go with Maya Angelou as well. So I'm going to copy that. It's, again, a physical graphic organizer. And so there won't be a link for that. And then we're going to have a Newsella article to go ahead and support that content. Newsella article. I'm going to go ahead and link that as well. So this is what we're going to be doing in reading today, and it took me a short amount of time to link all of the information needed for our reading lesson for today on my homepage. And again, this is just one of the ways that I can use Canvas in my classroom, and you can use it however you want, but this is a simple way to do it, and I think it's really effective and user-friendly for my students. So I usually use my platform here on Canvas to use text only. However, you can spice it up a little bit with pictures. Like I added my picture of the colored pencils at the top, and then of course I have this word study button that I've linked actually to my word study, a different page. But you can just have simple pictures in here. So what you can do is you can embed an image. You can find an image on the internet, and you can go ahead and just copy the image address, go back to where you want to insert it, embed the image, paste the link for the image. And what I do is I usually change the dimensions to be smaller because I don't want it to be massive on the whole page. So I might put it to 150 to 150, update it, and then once I'm done with that, I can go ahead and save it. And now when I scroll down, I have a little motivational saying. Now I'm going to show you how I've incorporated word study onto my homepage and how students can save time and teachers can save time by having it all in one place. So I go ahead and click on word study. And what I did was I made a new page, and I have all of my lists here. So for example, if I am a student and I'm in DR, and this is based on Words Their Way, word study. So if I'm in DR, I found this already uploaded on the internet with a quick search. All of the DR sorts are on this document in order. And so if the students are on sort, let's say, well, this week they're actually on sort 6. So we do 12 words per week. So we'll have the bottom 12 this week. And so they'll just go to the bottom 12 words and copy them down into their planners for the week. They do this every Monday for morning work. And once they're done with that, then they can just go ahead and close the document or get out of the page. And this actually makes it easier for them. They don't have to go searching on the internet for anything else. They don't have to go to a new tab. It's all in Canvas. And if they want to enter full screen, they can. If they want to zoom in or out, they can as well. And so once they have that done, they can start their menu items if they have time, or they can do that for homework, which is typically what they do. But since this saves so much time, some of them get a head start with doing their menu item in the class for the week on the day that they write their words. So then I have the menu typed out here, and it gives options on what the students can do with their words. And again, I made a new page for the menu item. And so it's all here on this word study page. So I heard about a new feature on Canvas, and it was discussions. So I went ahead and asked my integrator to help me with discussions in my classroom. And so we did a practice of a writing prompt in my class, and I'll go ahead and open this one to show you what it was like. I wanted the students to start discussing different topics that they might eventually write about, but go ahead and have discussions on Canvas first. So we just had an easy prompt: pick a side. Should students be allowed to use cell phones in school? Why or why not? And it was kind of open. There wasn't too many rules about what we wanted them to do. It was more just to see and get experience discussing with your classmates about a certain topic. So then I inserted a picture there. And so now I'm going to show you some of the responses that my students did. So as you can see, some of them are not really appropriate responses for this, or professional responses. And we did show students how they can respond via video and how they could like each other's comments. But I really use this to drive the instruction on responding appropriately on the internet to each other in a professional setting and in a formal setting versus how you might respond on something a little bit more informal, maybe social media. So after this discussion, I closed it for comments, which you can do. So they're no longer able to discuss. That was our practice one. So after talking to the students about how to appropriately respond on discussion boards, I went ahead and started a new discussion on author's tone and mood. And so students were now discussing more formally and appropriately with fonts that were not too large, not too small. No one changed their color of the font, and students were responding using their notes that they took for tone and mood and actually really having an engaging conversation and questioning others. For example, this student said the difference between tone and mood is that the mood talks about the feeling that the author creates. This student wrote, what about the tone? Which is a good point because he's not talking about both. He's only making a point about one. So this is a really good tool that you could also incorporate into your Canvas and in your classroom discussions. So that was a quick tour of how I use Canvas in my classroom on a daily basis. And it's really just transferable from what you might be used to, Google Classroom or any other thing such as a classroom website. It's really customizable. There are a lot of tools that you can use within it. And if you have any other questions, you can definitely ask your integrator for help so that you can get started at your school. My fifth graders are so used to using it now. Say, go on my homepage or my links on Canvas, and they go there, they know what to do, there's no questions asked.